Hello, it's nice to see you. I'm glad you could make it, and we are about to get in my car to drive for 20 hours straight. Well, I lied about the straight part. There'll be breaks. 20 hours straight would actually be insane. However, we are getting in the car and we are driving for 20 hours. My parents spend all summers out east in Prince Edward Island, which is about 1,800 kilometers away and about an 18-19 with stops 20-hour road trip. And I used to always just fly and go for like a week or two. However, we brought the child last time and he had so much fun, and I'm actually going for the rest of the summer into the fall. This year, I'm going to be there for the longest of long time. So it only made sense to drive, to bring him, to bring all 40 of the books I think I packed with me. I don't want to talk about it. However, we did this last year and I feel like it needs to become a little bit of a tradition. There is nothing I love more than a good audiobook. And you saw the title of today's video. I'm obviously not going to be reading for 20 hours while I'm driving because that would be, what'd you say? Yeah, illegal. Illegal. So that's not what we are going to be doing. We are packing up the car. We are getting in the car. I have my audiobooks queued up and we are going to see how many books I can read, listen to. If you want to have a fight about if audiobooks are reading, you're fighting with a wall. I think it's reading. I know every single thing that happened on every single page of a book. I've at least consumed it. I didn't actively read it, but it has been read. However, I don't feel all that passionately about it, so if you want to fight about it, I'm not your girl. I'm not your girl. I actually don't care whether you think it's reading or not. However, me and little one will be getting in the car and we will see how many books we can get through in 20 hours. If I had to guess, it would probably be like a 3.5. I listen to audiobooks kind of way too fast. I feel like when I first get in the car, I start at like a cute 1.9, maybe 2. But by the time that I'm like a couple hours into a drive, we're at like a cute 2.5, 2.6. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. I don't know what screw is loose for me to be able to comprehend words moving that quickly, but I feel like if you hear me talking and you hear how fast I talk, it kind of makes sense, you know? Like if you listen to me right now, it makes a little bit of sense, doesn't it? That being said, I definitely listen faster than I read. And you guys know that I do a lot of reading for 24-hour challenges. So we can compare and contrast how many pages read versus how many pages listened to in kind of the same amount of time. It's going to be broken into 2 days. Driving to Montreal today and I'm staying with my boyfriend for a couple of days for doing the rest of the drive, which is most of the drive. So the second day will be our heavy driving time day, but today shouldn't be too bad. We're about to get the car packed up. We're about to drop everything we need to drop off where it needs to be dropped off. And me and little one are officially going on our second long summer road trip. Are you excited? Are you excited? The silence is so loud. Are you excited to see Grandma and Grandpa? Are you excited to go for walks on the beach? Are we gonna see all of our doggy friends at the cottage this year? I don't think he understands that he's about to have to sit in the car with me for 20 hours, but I will say he's the best co-pilot you've ever met in your entire life, and the way that he just sleeps and cuddles beside me the entire time, I can't yap for any longer. We have 1,800 kilometers between us and where we are going. It is officially time to get the car packed up, get moving, and we'll see what audiobook we start with. I asked you guys for audiobook recommendations on Instagram and you pulled through. I got some on Audible and downloaded them and have some downloaded in my Spotify library. So we'll see where we go. There's one that I really want to listen to, but I think it's too long to listen to today. But it might rip me apart if I listen to it first the second day. Regardless, we'll see what book we end up starting with, and it's time to get on the road. I almost just said let's get road tripping because I always say let's get bookish in my bookish diary videos. They cringe me out every single time, and I just almost said let's get road tripping. I said it. I didn't almost say it. I said it. Are you excited to spend 20 hours uninterrupted with mommy in the car? Are you so excited? You realize this whole drive is so that you can come, right? You realize I could take an hour-long flight and be there, but we're driving for 20 hours so that we can spend all the time together. So ungrateful. We started with Elisa Jewell last time. We're starting with Elisa Jewell again. It just feels like a good place to start her books. You always kind of know where they're going, but then the ending is always still shocking, and they're such good audiobooks. I feel like this is a good choice. It is obviously officially time. This is going to be very much needed. There's literally nothing I've heard better in my entire life. Do you already have a guess at chapter 10 where this is going to go now that I know what's going on? Don't let him in. Don't do that. Don't let him in. If it's up to you, don't let him in. I don't know why I'm acting shocked. I'm clearly on chapter 10. I'm probably wrong. We have literally just made it to part 3, which is like the 100-page mark, and I've been driving for like just over an hour, which I feel like this does prove that I listen a lot faster than I read. So like that's humbling, you know? Like how can I talk and listen so quickly, but when it comes to comprehending words on paper, I'm slow at it. Genuinely very, like half of this. However, we are on chapter 26 of Don't Let Him In. I decided to go with Elisa Jewell because I started with Elisa Jewell last time. There's something about that's gonna get you every single time. Now this is true with the first audiobook by her I listened to, and it was so good because it had this like podcast element to it, but her audiobooks, at least from the ones I've listened to, which is this, Then She Was Gone, and None of This Was True, has this like dramatized air to it, but it's not dramatized the same way that like fantasy books are dramatized, where it's like there's music and there's like sound effects and that kind of jazz. Even though like with the podcast one and None of This Is True, like it actually had podcast theme music, like it felt like a podcast. The sounds were different when there was a podcast. However, there's like always a full cast, and it's not dramatized like you're listening to a movie. It's dramatized like you're listening to the characters say what they're saying. Like you can hear the inflection in their voices. When someone gasps, they actually gasp, stuff like that. But it's not like dramatized like there's music everywhere. It's kind of like the perfect audiobook situation for me. My favorite thing about Lisa Jewell's books, I always fucking say this all the time, is that you kind of know pretty early on where they're gonna go. Like I think it was chapter 10 that I stopped and I was like, okay, so I have an idea of what the ending is gonna be. How we get there and how fucked up the journey is kind of what the fun of it is. This might be my favorite concept of one of her books I've ever read because it's really making my brain real. And one of the point of views we're getting in this is the daughter of a widow who like is a true crime girly at her core. Like she is just so untrusting. And I feel like if I was in her situation, I would be reacting exactly the same way. But basically there's not a main one. There's so many point of views that we're in. But basically we're following Ash, and Ash's mother, Nina's husband has passed away. Her dad has passed away. He was pushed in front of a train on train tracks and he has passed away. And he was like this light, this love, this bright light in everyone's life, right? And then we have this Martha woman timeline going on, right? But then we also have this 4 years ago timeline with a man that has the same voice as someone who's in the current timeline. And then we also have a current timeline with this woman named Martha. The way that we are already getting clues, like I feel like you know early on pretty well where it's gonna go, but it's been a year since Ash's dad has passed away, and one of her dad's friends has sent a letter to the family being like, I heard that he passed away, I'm so sorry to hear he passed away. But he didn't stop there. He sent another package, and that package elicited Nina, Ash's mom, to send him an email. And now this perfect man, Nick Radcliffe, has entered the chat, okay? He is in Ash's house every single weekend. He is dating her mom, and Ash feels like it's kind of quick and also feels like he's really perfect right out of the gate. This woman is looking for clues everywhere. I'm obsessed with Ash. I'm obsessed with her. She is like, this is a little bit weird. This is a little bit weird. And everywhere she looks, she is looking for something to be a little bit wrong. The end of the synopsis says Nina, Martha, and Ash are on a collision course with a shocking truth that is far darker than anyone could have imagined, and all three are about to wish they heeded the same warning. Don't let him in. I love when a mystery thriller has like multiple converging timelines, or like you need for more information to get to the end. It's not just like some big twist that happens at the end that's like, I don't really understand how you got there. I think that's what's so good about Lisa Jewell is her books have like a bunch of Easter eggs throughout them, and you kind of have an idea of where they're gonna go, which makes them feel very realistic. And then you sit back in the end and you're like, okay, so that was actually really fucked up. That was incredibly fucked up. At this point in 100 pages in, I'm placing my bets now. I think I'm right about where this is gonna go. I could be so entirely wrong. I think in theory I'm right. There's a lot of like names, times, places, and dates that I think make this a really good audiobook because it's easy to like remember what's going on when you know what characters talk about each other. Like there's names and places and times that matter because that's how you're getting the clues and how things are all fitting together in like one puzzle piece. But we're also in this point of view of this man who is seemingly Nick Radcliffe, but it's not right now. It's 4 years ago, and that is where the fuckery is going on. That is where the weirdness is going on. Also, being in Nick's point of view, being in this manipulative man's point of view where he's like, it's so easy to please women. Like I just do all of these things and my wife is happy. And it's like those things are easy to do, and if a man does them, the wife is happy. But hearing it through your motives is fucking terrifying. It's terrifying. It's very on the edge of your seat. It's very, I need to listen to it at 3 times speed until I know every single thing that happened. We will be able to finish this in this drive if I keep it at the speed that I'm at. So I'll keep you updated. The 100-page check-in is, I think this might be my favorite Lisa Jewell so far, at least at this point, because it's like the most trickery going on. Like there's the most unknown things about where it could go, and it's not just like one weird mystery going on. It's like all of these timelines and all of these women and all of these situations. I'm just very curious to see where it's gonna go. I'm stopped at like an en route, which if you're not from Ontario, it's basically just like our road stops on the highways that have like gas stations and all that jazz. And I did already drink an entire Red Bull and so much water, so I'm stopping to go pee. We're letting Chance go pee, and we're gonna get a snack, and then we're back on the road and we're gonna finish this. Does anybody else hate a deckled edge? I hate a deckled edge. I hate that books are coming out with deckled edges in this day and age. You can't annotate them, and I understand that they're a fun reading experience and they feel vintage, but I hate them with every fiber of my being. What's going on inside this book though? Big fan of what's going on. I feel like I didn't explain it that well. But to our main girly Ash, our resident true crime girly who doesn't believe anything, she doesn't know the past. But me and you reading this right now, we're learning about the past. And it's fucky. It's giving fucky. We've officially reached that point in the book where everything is tying together. All of the pieces are tying together. Things are starting to make sense. And this is the place that it could go wrong. This is the place that I feel like we have so much information at the end isn't surprising in any way, shape, or form. I could be changing my tune on this one because I feel like we have so many answers. We're like almost caught up in the timeline that's 4 years ago. We're at 21 months ago now. And I feel like we know a lot. And it has gotten crazy. I have literally no idea what could happen in the next whatever is left. That changes things. That does change things. Is everyone not reliable? I'm questioning how correct I am, the path that I'm on, because now there's a lot of options. I fear I'm really invested. I fear there's no ifs, ands, or buts. At least up until this very moment, it's really good. Hey, if you need to make a 6-hour drive go by, listen to a true crime-esque book. You're going to be trying to solve that thing the entire freaking time. There's just so many ways this could go. I could finish it. I could play it and I could finish it. And then I know. That's what we're going to do. I was nervous for a second there. I was nervous the last time that we were stopped that this was gonna not do what I needed it to do. That was the most satisfying ending to a thriller mystery I have ever read in my entire life. That was immaculate. Female rage. And then the epilogue? No, that was so good. That was so satisfying. I doubted it for a second. I doubted it. But it came right back. It came right back. We finished the last few seconds of the epilogue literally as we arrived at our destination for the day. Don't know if there could be better timing if I tried to time it. You know what I mean? And I was switching through speeds so much throughout this because the guy's voice was harder to listen to a little bit in the faster speed. Regardless, we're going to leave full thoughts, ratings, reviews, all of that for the end because I don't know if you can tell, but like this was only a third of the drive and I already don't have that many brain cells. But I do need to talk to you about this because I was worried. I was worried. There was a real point in this that I was worried because I feel like we had all the answers. Everything was tied together. And I was like, everything we know up until now, it's kind of clicking and it seems like it's all clicked, but that ending, I would pay money to have been able to watch that ending. And even there was a little moment in the ending that I was like, maybe this is a little bit of a loose end. No, the epilogue solved it. I'm obsessed with this. I'm also just like obsessed with Lisa Jewell audiobooks. Like the British accents in this, they make it so much fun to read. There's something about being a person from Canada, a person from North America, and hearing a British person talk, okay? I don't know what it is. It's gonna get me every single time, but the female rage in this story, the female rage, the women working together. This, oddly enough, it's a very odd thing to say, but it is how I felt in the moment, so I am gonna say it. Made me love being a woman. Like, I love when women band together. You know that Netflix documentary, The Tinder Swindler? This was kind of in the same vein. So if you loved that, this could be for you. The web that was weaved, how all-encompassing this story was, the way everything worked together, even just like little things. Like there were news articles and texts, and both in the book, like how it's written, and in the audiobook, the voice that is voicing it was different than regular text, was different than the regular part of the story. And even like, there were so many, the acting in this was so good. I think Lisa Jewell can do no wrong. I think this might be my favorite Lisa Jewell so far, which is crazy to say. I haven't read a Lisa Jewell yet. I've listened to every single one. And I don't think I want to read them. I think I want to listen to them because the audiobooks are so good. However, maybe it is just the audiobook experience about them that is so good. But everything about her stories, the way that they tie together and the way that you can read everything in these characters, and they feel very nuanced. And I think one thing about this one that really made it stand out is that usually, for the most part in a lot of mystery thrillers, but in the two that I've read from Lisa Jewell recently, there's never any likable characters. There aren't any characters that you are rooting for. However, Ash in this, the daughter that is in her true crime era that has recently lost her dad, she was so fun to be in the head of. She was relatable. I don't know if that makes me seem crazy to say that she's relatable, because she went to the nth degree. She found every person she had to find. She found the answers. It was so much fun. I also feel like this was kind of like a Lisa Jewell book meets a Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Like if you love those two things, you are gonna love this, because with Good Girl's Guide to Murder, we have Pip with this young girl trying to solve this case, and you're going on this story and this case solving situation with her, and it was a shitty fucking man that you could hate. You could hate that man. I hated that man, but it was also fun to get his story, because you're supposed to hate the man, but there's so many things in it. I loved it. There was a man that you will hate in this. You will hate him, but I loved it. I love to hate him, and I love to be rooting for Ash. I think that's what it is. I think it's reading a mystery thriller situation, but having a character that's likable, having a character that you're rooting for. No, it was crack. It was amazing. We drove for so much longer today than I was anticipating. It's normally like a 5 and a bit hour drive. It was like 6 hours and 45 minutes, like quite a bit longer. So in that time, we read 357 pages. So our tally into the drive so far is 357, and I will see you, and we will pick this back up when we are back in the car and we are doing the long one, the long drive. And I might wait an extra day so that I hit no traffic, because that traffic was not fun. That long weekend traffic, not about it. Literally not about it. This book, however, this is literally the perfect way to start with. I feel like even though the drive was so much longer than it normally is, that guy almost just hit me. I'm parked somewhere I can be parked. That was very close. Anyways, this book made the drive feel like a normal amount of time. Well, no, it still felt really long, but I was locked in on this. Locked in on. If you haven't tried a Lisa Jewell audiobook yet, what are you doing? What are you doing? I also thought I wasn't really a mystery thriller kind of person. Like, they always are kind of meh. For me, Lisa Jewell, however, I think it's because you know where they're going, but then you look back and you're like, that was fucked. No, that was fucked. Okay, I'll see you when I see you. Obviously. I just listened to, what, 25 minutes of that? Obviously not on Earth. Obviously not on Earth, yeah. Color me intrigued. Even the scienciness of what is going on so far is not annoying, because it's giving Interstellar. Also, this is a really good voice actor. I have giggled a couple times. Trust me, I know this is far too early to be saying this. I'm only on chapter 3. I'm halfway through chapter 3. It's giving 6 stars. It's giving 6 stars. It's giving it's gonna be so epic. I'm like sitting here giggling as he's remembering his name. So I need more books like this in my life. I failed science, if you were wondering. I didn't actually, but I may as well have. I dropped science and Greek limit. I'm really not good at math. Why would you assume I was? I've never given you anything to make you think that I was good at math. I don't know why I felt the need to explain that. But if you're wondering, me and math. Hearing about it, hearing about science, so cool. Also, someone get this voice actor an Emmy. There was one audiobook going into this drive that I knew I really wanted to read while I was doing this drive. However, I was really nervous that it was going to read really science-y and that everything I heard about it being the best audiobook ever wasn't going to be true, and I would spend 16 hours of audiobook listening. I mean, I'm listening at 2.5x speed, being like, what the fuck is going on? Literally, what am I reading? I keep saying reading. What am I listening to? You know, and that's like not a good feeling, because you want the drive to feel kind of quick. And dare I say the 4 hours that I've already driven feels like 20 minutes because of how freaking good. I don't know why I'm keeping you in suspense. I've told you what book we're reading. We started Project Hail Mary. One of my good friends, Morgan, has made countless videos about how amazing A, this is of a book, but B, how amazing the audiobook is, like one of her top reads of the year. And that was what put it on my radar, that I really wanted to read it. And then I started seeing a lot of things about it, and then the movie is coming out. I already knew it was going to be a good story, but I was definitely nervous it was going to be hard to understand and confusing. Halfway through this, dare I say 6-star territory. There's not been a dull moment, a dull second, a dull storyline, a dull character. Everything about this has been so well done, and I hate a then and now timeline. You guys know this about me. In a romance, I hate a then and now timeline. I feel like it's so hard to execute. There are like very few then and now timeline books that I love, but somehow in this setting, it just works so well. Let me elaborate. Let me kind of tell you what this is about. If you haven't seen the trailer for it, which I hadn't, I knew nothing going in. I kind of want to tell you nothing because everything has been a surprise. I said that there was a character in this, a thing in this. There was something in this that was holding the exact same part of my heart hostage that Bartholomew from The Night and the Moth made me feel, which if you've read The Night and the Moth and you know the feelings that Bartholomew elicits, there's a thing in this that is holding that like exact same part of my heart hostage right now. And I didn't even know that that thing was going to be in this book, but I told my friends that I was feeling that way and they were like, oh, I saw it in the trailer. So if you haven't seen the trailer, don't watch it. Just listen to the audiobook and then watch the trailer and then watch the movie. What if I told you what this is about? That's what we were about to do. Basically, we're following a guy and he doesn't even know his name. So I'm not going to tell you his name. You figure out his name pretty early on, but I'm not going to tell you his name. And it's not because I don't remember it. That can't be why. That literally cannot be why. And this guy wakes up basically on an operating table, on this coma-induced table, to a bunch of computers yelling at him, what is 2 plus 2? What is 2 plus 2? And he's like, can we not be doing this? Why can't I speak? I actually don't know my name. I actually don't know my name. And he then finds out that he is on a spaceship. And that is the point of view of the character we are in for the entirety entirety of the story, at least up until now. What we know is that something is draining the energy from the sun. I know what it is. I'm not going to tell you. Something is draining the energy from the sun, and at the rate that things are going, the sun is going to lose about 5% of what it emits, 5% of its strength. Can you tell I'm not a science major? It's going to lose 5% in the next 20 years, which will send the world into an ice age. So obviously this story is us trying to figure out a way for that to not be the case, obviously, you know? However, the narrative of how this is A, delivered, B, told, the science of it all, like the science in this is so intriguing. Like I am the type of person that falls asleep to science videos. I don't understand them. I don't really understand what's going on in space. I can have a conversation about it. I kind of know what's going on, but only based on my own research. I was not good at science in school. I don't know how many times I need to harp on this. I was bad at science in school. However, space and the way that things work and the whole existence of humanity and all of that jazz are black holes that I have gone down so many times, rabbit holes that I've gone through so many times on the internet. So the science doesn't mean anything to me. It could be 100% incorrect. I have a feeling it's correct. I will fact check myself later. It feels correct. It feels like it could be 100% correct, but it's not what's driving this story. The science of this is so integral and important, and it is a science fiction story with a lot of science in it. However, what's happening in the plot line of the story is so interesting. It's so interesting. It's kind of like one of those movies that take place on just a train, and every award that it wins, it says on every single poster, like a movie that took place in only one place. A movie that only happened in 1 hour in one place. Like, how did you keep someone's attention for that long? It's kind of what this book is doing. You're in the mind of this character as they are going through this situation with amnesia. No concept of why they are in space. No idea of why they're in space. And the then and now of it is the memories coming back to him. And it's just so good. It's just so interesting, but it's perfectly balanced between this intricate, nuanced, scientific plot and this deep, interesting, nuanced, integral character and this character study of this character. It's somehow so science heavy and so scientific and such an in-depth, deep, nuanced plot, but it's equally balanced by this character study, and it's also deeply funny. Like, the character's head we are in is so the antithesis of boring. He's hilarious and his thoughts are hilarious, and he'll be in a dire situation and totally in the middle of a lake with no row. What is that saying? It's not out to lunch. Like, you're in the middle of a lake with no paddle. What is that saying? There has to be a saying. Why did my brain just come up with that if there isn't a saying? But my brain doesn't know the exact words for it. Regardless, in those moments, this character that's just so fun to be in the head of. Fun is maybe not the right word. It's just like, it's deeply well written. There are absolutely no plot holes. Every single thing that we get is a literary device to get us further in a plot and further in this character study. Every single time we get a memory or we get a then and now or we get a new piece of information, it's paced so perfectly. Like, looking at where we are in the story now versus at the beginning, so much has happened, but I genuinely feel like I've been driving for 20 minutes. I could not have picked a better book for this drive because it's going to be like 60-70% of this drive will be this book, and I genuinely feel like I've been driving for no time at all, literally no time. So if you were looking for a sign to read or listen to Project Hail Mary before the movie comes out, especially as a girly who reads like me, like I am pretty good at branching out of my genre, at least that's what my friends say. I don't know if it's true. However, I'm pretty good at it, but I like a good romance, you know what I mean? And this is not a romance in any way, shape, or form, and I am thoroughly hooked. This is just, by definition, a great story, a great book. I think it's going to be such a good movie. I haven't even finished yet. I have a feeling the second half is going to be very emotional, and that character, that feels like Bartholomew, that thing that feels like Bartholomew in my heart, a visceral need to protect it. I also should stop talking to you and get driving because I'm not going to get in until 11 p.m. So it's just, irregardless, going to be a very long day, but it feels like no time has passed. This is one of the most interesting stories. This might be my favorite audiobook ever. It might be. It's so well done. And the delivery, the voice actor is amazing, but the character is also written so well while also being such a sublime plot. I think I need to read more science fiction. I think that's what this is telling me. And also, I'm driving. I've been driving for 4.5 hours and it's not confusing at all. It's so easy to follow. I'm listening at 2.6 times speed. I had a feeling that I was gonna have to listen at like 1.5 so I understood what was going on. Although I will say my brain processes words way too quickly because I mean, like, you hear how fast I talk. So we don't need to get into that. However, I had a feeling I would really have to slow it down for this, but I've honestly been speeding it up because I A, want to know what's gonna happen, and I'm B, so locked in. My brain is fully focused on the road in front of me and the words that are coming out of this person's mouth. It's just objectively such a good story. Okay, I need to leave or I'm gonna rant about it for so long. Placing my bets now. You can place your bets now. 6-star read. One of my top reads of the year. That's the vibes that I'm getting. It would have to switch so completely. Just feel like the way that this is written, the way that this character is delivered and is growing, and the nuance of everything we have so far, there's just no way. I will pick a rip my heart out story over anything in the entire world. Truly, like, there's nothing like feeling deep human emotions. You know what I mean? So if it does rip my heart out, there's a higher chance it'll be a 6-star. It's giving 6-star. I don't know what to tell you. We have less than an hour left, so if shit was gonna hit the fan, it's gonna happen soon, and I'm not emotionally prepared for shit to hit the fan. I had no idea that I was gonna become this emotionally invested in what we've been given. What if I just don't listen to the last hour? I don't know how it goes, and I can just know that there was a happy ending. There has to be a happy ending. I cannot handle if this does not have. There's no way it could be an all and out happy ending. No. And all we can do is help. I am back, I am rested, and it is officially time for us to give final thoughts, ratings, reviews, and all of that jazz on every single thing that we've read during our 20-hour road trip. Now, it didn't end up being actually 20 hours in totality. I think it was like just under 19 hours. It was like 18 hours and 54 minutes is I think what I had written down. And we did, in that just under 19 hours amount of time, read 833 pages. Read being the loose term, read being the term I'm gonna use right now because you can fight with the wall. I don't care if you think listening to audiobooks is reading. I don't really have an opinion here or there. However, it is officially time for us to give our thoughts, ratings, and reviews, all that jazz on both the stories and the audiobookness of them. I feel like we have a pretty good idea of where this is going. I feel like my thoughts came across pretty good. I feel like usually when I do one of these audiobook-esque videos, there's usually one that's like just fine. You know, like could have read it, could have listened to it. Both of these, however, we'll get into it. During those 19 hours and those 833 pages, we were able to read 2 books. I had enough time to listen to something pretty short. Like I think I had like 2.5 hours left by the time that I was finishing this. However, it was about to be dark. It was dark. I drove like the last little bit in the dark, which like I couldn't have filmed any in the dark in the car. Couldn't really have filmed much. And also the idea of starting anything after finishing this sounded like torture, like actual genuine torture. I didn't pick up a page. I didn't read anything for a couple days after getting here because of how I was left in a hole, a black hole. If we're gonna be scientific and spacey about it, a black hole after finishing this. So we actually read 833 pages in like 2 hours less than the 19-hour road trip. However, semantics, you know what I mean? I did end up listening to this at like 2.7x speed because I wanted to know what was gonna happen. I could not stop speeding this up because I was like, I just need to get to a point that we are nearing the end, that it's happy. I need to be happy. So I feel like I listened to majority of it above 2 times speed and then most of it at 2.7x speed. So I think I listened to the entire 16-hour audiobook in like 7.5 hours of actual listening time. So a little bit crazy. But if we're gonna compare it to how much I read, it is actually kind of humbling to see how much I listen to. Really good reminder of why audiobooks are so great, because the last time that I did a 24-hour reading video, granted, I was with my best friend and we were yapping a lot and I was sick. We were tired. I did only read like 500 and something, just under 600 pages in 24 hours. Much more time of actual reading versus the 833 that I read listening in less than 19 hours. You know, if I didn't love reading and annotating so much, I would listen to audiobooks a lot more than I actually physically read, because clearly my brain can't process words on paper as fast as I can process words out loud. Moral of the story, I probably could have gotten a 3rd book in here, but this is my video and I make the rules, and I wanted to just listen to Taylor Swift for like 2 hours after finishing this book. I didn't want to start something else that sounded like a crime. We started off with Don't Let Him In by Lisa Jewell, and this has cemented itself as my favorite Lisa Jewell story. The ending in this was so beyond satisfying, and having a character to root for made all of the difference. Like I feel like I very rarely read an adult mystery thriller type book that has a character worth rooting for. I did just read Holly Jackson's adult release. That is a character you can root for, but that is not why we are here. However, apart from the true crime-esque genre, like the YA true crime-esque, The Naturals, The Good Guide to Murder, that kind of jazz, mystery thrillers never have characters that you like. At least not for me. I usually hate everyone involved and everyone's making questionable decisions and you never know kind of where to look or what to do. And there were a lot of main characters, like protagonists in this, that had point of views and were important to the story and were integral. However, there was a character in this, the daughter in this story. She was so easy to root for. She was so easy to just like put your foot down and be like, I'm with you, I'm rooting with you. You are the reason that I believe that everything that is going on right now is fucked up. I believe you with every fiber of my being. And having someone to root for while also trying to uncover something, and the unsung hero of this story having a man to hate, and you can hate this man. You should hate this man. Fuck this man. But also, Lisa Jewell makes everything very nuanced and interesting, and just, it always goes so much further than you think it's gonna go. And the ending of this one was, without a shadow of a doubt, the most satisfying ending. That was my only problem with None of This Is True, is the ending was kind of open a little bit, just a tiny bit, like this much, just a tiny bit. This one, closed loop, and an ending we want. And it made me love being a woman. I love seeing women band together. I wish women did not have to go through this situation. I understand they're fictional women. However, I wish that no one went through this situation ever. The women banding together to work together, my favorite, my absolute favorite. I did settle on giving this a 4.5. I toyed with this being a 5 when I first finished it. Like, it is a 5 mystery thriller. I just don't think about mystery thrillers that often after finishing them if they're like a traditional mystery thriller. Take a shot every single time I say mystery/thriller, but don't. That would not end well for anyone involved. I don't need to be sued, okay? Moral of the story, I need to read more Lisa Jewell, but right now, this is at the tip top, the very top of my Lisa Jewell list so far, and the audiobook of this was just amazing. Her audiobooks are really just good. So final ratings, 4.5 stars on the book, and then a 5 on audiobookness. Like, I think it is better as an audiobook. It might be just as good. However, the audiobook is really good. So it's a 5 out of 5 on audiobook. And now, I don't know how I'm gonna come on here and talk normal about this. I have not stopped thinking about this a single time. Project Hail Mary, everyone and their mom was right. The dog down the street telling you have to listen to this, your aunt telling you have to read this. This is one of those things that you have to read it before you watch the movie, because there is so much nuance, humor, character development, growth, internal monologue going on in this story that I just fear cannot be captured in a movie. This is one of those books that will probably be an amazing movie. I think this movie will do so well. The story is somehow all at the same time heartbreaking, heartwarming, incredibly nuanced, thought-provoking. Any words you can think to attribute this has in here. This balances having really deep, in-depth science fiction plot with also being equally a character study. And I feel like with science fiction, it's really easy to be like, ugh, to the whole genre and be like incredibly overwhelmed. And while this was very science fiction-y, it had so many science fiction elements, it also was deeply funny and it was just amazing. And I think the audiobook of this, like, the book is 6 stars. Maybe my favorite story of the entire year. Maybe like top 4 books of all time. Every time I say that out loud, I'm like, but there's so many books that I love so much that I could never make a list. It's like choosing your favorite child. You can't do it. It really is up there. And then the audiobook rating, without a shadow of a doubt, 6 stars. The cast in this was amazing. I feel like everyone put their entire heart and soul into this audiobook. I'm gonna listen to it again. I'm gonna read it again before the movie comes out, but you should read it again because I feel like the nuance of this story, the little emotions, the tiny moments, the character in this that feels like Bartholomew. No, the ending of this book, there were so many ways that this could have ended. I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel, which I feel like a book that has you so emotionally hooked, but that you cannot see the light at the end of a tunnel is a really well-crafted book. You know what I mean? Because like I will be making up scenarios in my head for characters that I love that like there's a happy way out. Nope. There was no plot holes, no moments that I could have grasped at any straws to be like there is a happy ending coming, but I'm very satisfied with the ending. I'll leave you with that. With a moment. I'll leave you a moment right here. Just if you want to click out for half a second, head over to your nearest bookstore, press pause really quick, go and grab this and pick it up. Or even quicker, like I did, hop on over to your audiobook app. Download that little thing right now. No, I mean it right now. I'll give you a second. It's good to have you back. And you're one audiobook or one book higher. I don't make the rules, but I enforce them, and you have to read this before the movie comes out. Don't make the rules. I will die on the hill of, I will get on that hill and I will die on it, okay? Even the girlies that read like me, even the romantic readers, even the predominantly romance and lit fic readers will love this. I really think they will. I can't imagine giving this book to someone and them not having nothing but positive things to say about it. Like, it was amazing. Anyways, now that I've officially made it to my favorite place on the entire earth, I'm gonna let you go because we have more videos to film, more things to do. We have snacks to eat and we have beaches to see, okay? So I'm gonna let you go. However, thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me. I hope it was a little bit fun. I hope maybe you found your next audiobook read because there's plenty of good options here, okay? And we could have done more, but you know when you read 2 really good books back to back and you're like, the third's not coming. There's no way I'm getting that good look. I'm not getting 3 in a row. So it was the right call to call it. And on that note, I hope to see you in the next one. And thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me. I hope you had fun. I hope you found a new book. I hope you giggled at all the crying I did in this video because there were lots. Love you. Bye. But as much as I love you, I might love the thing in here more.